Good morning, friends. How are you today? Um, we're doing great. We have been very busy lately. It's full spring, summertime. We have been doing some projects that have been much needed, very anticipated things that we try to get done during the summertime. Um, Even though my husband hates summer, he's more of a winter guy. He hates it warm. He hates it hot because he feels bad. He sweats and he hates it. So, needless to say, that's okay too. I still get work out of him. Um, I just wanted to go over some things with you before we started this project that we're getting ready to work on. We are going to be pressure washing our deck today. Actually, it's not a deck, it's a porch. We have a covered roof. It's where we keep our patio furniture, we keep our grills, our barbecue, and our smoker. And we have come to points that we needed to wash it. It is. I want to tell you a little bit about it. Um, the first thing I want you to know about it is if you've watched any of my videos prior to this one, you'll see where I talked about how we have salvaged and we have thrifted and we have done so many things to prevent cost, to help with materials. We have salvaged so many wood products, and this is no exception. This product that we're using, that has been used today, that I'm going to be pressure washing, is called IPE wood. And it is one of the Brazilian hardwoods. It's a very exotic wood and costly. Um, my brother works for a company and he had some connections, and this guy had tore down his deck from his home, and he wanted to haul it off. And so my brother called and says, hey, I've got this man that wants to get rid of this stuff. If you'll haul it off, you can have it. So we go way up into the mountains of North Carolina and we got this wood. Well, we brought it home, and unbelievably, it was exactly enough to finish the front deck of our house. Now, our house is 24 foot wide, and we might have had one or two pieces of scrap, nothing left over. So, but that was the decking of our porch. And it has absolutely been wonderful. We done some research on it because we didn't know what kind of wood it really was. And so we done some research on it, and come to find out it was Brazilian hardwood called IPE. IPE. It's IPE. And it's very dense. It's very hard. I mean, you have to use a carbide tipped saw blade to cut it with. We did not know that. We ruined two saw blades on it. During the process of building it, we also learned that you have to pre-drill for your screw holes. And you really needed to we use stainless steel screws to keep them from rusting as well. But our whole porch was salvaged wood. Now I'm going to give you a little tour of that before I start pressure washing, because it's going to take me a while to get all the furniture and everything off of here. And we're going to be, but it absolutely cleans up beautifully. We don't use like super power nozzle on it. We just do a good scrub down, and I'll use a brush and just get the main parts of it up. I don't like doing the hard surface where it causes it to be sanded. Ipe is very hard, but it also will leave splinters, and it's not the type of wood that you want to have a splinter from. It can set up infection. So we learned this the hard way too. Over the course of 5 years or so since this has been built, we've learned so many good things about this wood, but it is so resistant to pest, weather, bugs, It's resistant to scratches. It's resistant to pets, children. It's very much so indestructible. It's one of the hardest woods there is. It's so hard, it will float. It won't float. It's so hard. It's so dense and so thick. It's not really that thick either. It's more like the fibers and the pieces of the wood that's put together is so bound. And this is natural wood. So it's very good wood, and I'm very pleased with it. Now, the railing is different. Now, like I said, we only did the decking. We didn't do the railing and all that. But again, we resourced this from used materials. Everything we did about this porch, except for the wire, the hog wire or the cattle panels, is resourced out. My brother, he lays water pipe for a living in a company, and the water pipe comes on 4x4 pieces of wood that gets discarded. And so he says, hey, I've got this wood, we're going to discard it, come get it if you can use it. So we brought it home, and it is 4x4 pieces of wood, but they're oak. Now, the application that we used it in, where it's not truly sitting in the weather, it is covered, our porch is covered, and it is, we used it for the rails, which is okay because they're not sitting in water, they're not rotting. We put sealer on them each year. We pressure wash this deck every year, and we try our best to make sure that they are sealed so they don't decay from rot, bugs, whatever. Now, the roof, we did buy the plywood, or actually it's wafer board. It's sort of like the chipboard. And we did buy the tin, the metal. But the roof rafters is old chicken house wood that we got. And they're true sawmilled wood. Probably they're 50 or 60 years old. But again, in the application that we used them in, they're not sitting in the weather. They're not exposed to amounts of water. It's under the porch, under the roof. So that helps the longevity of those rafters. Now, the rafters themselves my husband bird mouthed them and did them over the rafter, but they are different sizes. We wanted to close in the top of the rafters, the porch roof, but with the rafters being just a slight bit bigger or smaller, or a sliver here, a sliver there, it adds up. And I didn't want the wave look. I wanted it to be solid. So we're just going to pressure wash. We're going to paint the ceiling white, and in that way it'll look uniform, because I don't like the look of the rough wood. I would rather have it match the house, the trim, and such as that. So we did choose the cattle panels. Like I done talked about that, about the cattle panels, and how we use that. We're going to be trimming it out. You can see here on the ends, on the edge where the rail is, that's not trimmed out. You can see the edge of the wire. We're going to be doing that in this project, and along with the pressure washing. So that's all for today. For the knowledge of the IPE wood and the how we built this and things like that. So let's get started on this project, and we'll take you on a little journey. So this is what the deck looks like now. It's very dirty. A lot of bird seed. Just some things that's been spilt on the floor. These black spots are where birds come and throw up or poo. And it's hard to get off unless you pressure wash it. You can tell under the deck, under the porch, on the porch where the couch was, it's a lot cleaner there. It actually looks cleaner. So that shows me that there was no wear there. And of course, steps. Steps are salt treated or pressure treated. So they get a little bit of green on them each time. So that's got to come off. And around the waterfall, the water feature, gonna move it. Some places where plants just sit and some of the weathers on the edge, but that'll all come off. Of course, we have the biggest problem, Zoe. She's very old. Sometimes she likes to come out here when it's raining and she will pee out here. Then of course where the grill sits, a lot of grease. A lot of things where the we have a mouse. He comes pretty regularly and eats the bird seed. But here's where the birds come mostly. You can see all the bird stuff on the rails. Gross. So time to get rid of the bird stuff. Okay, so in this jug I have a little bit of bleach and some borax and a little bit of Dawn dish detergent. I wanted to try to keep it as natural as possible, just to try to get rid of the green algae and the grease spots from the grill. So we're going to spray this, we're going to pre-treat it, and then we'll be going over it with the pressure washer. finished with the front porch. This is the outcome. It looks so beautiful, so clean. You can see how beautiful that IPE wood is. It's very variated. It looks gorgeous. Okay, I have finished rearranging the deck. I've got that one washed. Took it off and laundered it. Got my house plants all readied up. Got the door finished. Got it all nice and decorated. Got the deck out here fixed. Clean. I love that the floor is clean. Looks so much better. Still got a lot to work to do. Got the grill and the barbecue. I'm hoping to move that outside. I'm going to try to make a covered area for that. Probably not today, but it'll be in the future. I'm going to finish the railing on the porch right here. You can see here that it's going to have trim. So, pretty little wind chime my son got me for my Mother's Day. It's a pretty day for it. It's windy. Sorry if you can't hear well. The wind is really blowing today. So that's that. So here's the back porch entrance. It's really not a porch. It's just a landing. It's very dirty. This is the one we use primarily. We had the door painted, but some of it's still coming off. I'm going to do some touch up on that and give it a little bit of a cleanup. So now my new favorite pastime is coming out and sitting in the garden with the chickens, and they just scratch and eat bugs, and I love watching them. They're so cute.